I've been holding a lot of shit in lately. Man, I just had like a 3.5 hour cry.
Provided girls to his affiliate to go to certain parties, but it was girls, right? It's harsher if you're a foreigner. They want to try medications out on you. They definitely always want to put you in lock. There's a lot of violence going on.
So the number of people willing to testify against Diddy keeps growing by the day. The latest person to come forward with the not so pleasant experience they had with him was one of the sex workers Diddy hired. She is spilling the tea on Diddy's sex crimes, how he is an informant with the feds, how he set her up to go to jail, and how he put money on her head while she was in prison. At this point, I think it is safe to say that only a few people in Hollywood have something positive to say about Diddy, because the revelations that have come to light in the past few days have been shocking and scary. If we are being serious, I honestly don't see how he is walking out free from this case. But then a few days ago, one of Diddy's former sex workers came forward with her own experience from Diddy, as she just exposed him for SA, setting her up with the feds and putting a hit on her while she was in jail. For those who have not clocked on to this tea, grab a seat and let me fill you in. So Diddy has been the subject of numerous lawsuits in the last few months, and it all started after Cassie filed a lawsuit against him accusing him of SADV and intimidation. Inside sources revealed that Diddy had first-hand information that Cassie was about to file a lawsuit against him, but he called her bluff and told Diddy settled out of court with Cassie barely 24 hours after the lawsuit was filed, but then it was too late for him, as the lawsuit had done a lot of damage, and a few weeks after Cassie got paid, Diddy faced 3 more lawsuits. And one thing all the lawsuits had in common was Diddy SA them. But then, a few weeks later, music producer Lil Rod Jones filed his lawsuit against Diddy, accusing him of stealing his publishing rights, SA, and running a trafficking ring. Unlike the other lawsuits, Lil Rod Jones revealed that he had evidence to all that was in the lawsuit, and he included some photos to back his claims. The content of Lil Rod Jones' lawsuit was so damaging that the feds opened a criminal investigation into Diddy and everyone whose name appeared in the lawsuit, and a few weeks later, Homeland Security raided Diddy's home in search of potential evidence relating to the case, and they were pictured leaving his home with documents and gadgets. Also, Diddy's drug mule, who was named in the lawsuits, was arrested. While we await news on what Diddy will be charged with, I must say that the raid on Diddy's home was some sort of assurance to people who had dirt on Diddy to come forward with what they had on him, because the past few days, celebrities like Brycer Gray, Orlando Brown have reportedly information that could assist their investigation. But then a few days ago, one of Diddy's sex workers, Nies joined the number of people who were willing to testify against him, and her revelations were shocking. Nies revealed that not only did she hook up with Diddy, but she also ran some sort of escort services where she provided girls for celebrities in Hollywood, and she flew in girls from Europe and flew them back. She revealed that she was so close to Diddy that she met Cassie a couple of times, and she had her friend feature Cassie on a song, but Diddy never cleared the song.
What are your thoughts on the sort of Diddy-Cassie situation?
Well, I have met her before. She's a very beautiful, nice person. Obviously, I was not someone that was a lot around her, but when I was in the studio at Daddy's house and stuff, she was there. I actually have hooked her up with another artist once to get on a song, and then somehow it just didn't come through, but I did not know all the things that happened. Now it makes sense that she was so quiet and looking down on the floor and stuff, right? But I definitely believe it, and I think there was a lot of abuse going on, just from the stories that I heard from friends that actually were there, right? Because I wasn't there personally, but from people that I know really well, close sources that have told stories how he would treat her in front of other people. That just shows probably in private it was even worse, you know?
She revealed that she witnessed some of the craziest parties in Diddy's house, and her first experience at Diddy's party felt weird because there were minors around with celebrities and their partners doing some crazy stuff. Nies revealed that the more she got closer to Diddy, she got to know Diddy had the party and everyone who attended on tape, which felt pretty awkward for her. But then most of her girls were flown in from Europe, and she felt them not even knowing about it was the best for them. But then Nies dropped the bomb that Diddy was some sort of informant for the feds, and that was why he was able to get away with all these crimes for years. Diddy being an informant for the feds is one of the craziest things we've heard, but when you look at it again, it kind of makes a lot of sense because Diddy has a lot of dirt on him, and so far he has been able to walk away from every one of them. Nies said she not only ran an escort service, but she also had a dealer who provided drugs. She explained that at Hollywood parties, there were always drugs, and she wanted to make a name for herself. So after partying with Diddy for some time, she revealed that Diddy reached out and told her he wanted to meet her dealer.
Just give it to them. It was not even about making money. It's just more like getting favors for favors, right? That was more a little bit my way of dealing with it. And since that, they were taking a liking into that product. They asked me to just set up, or they just wanted to know who my connect was, right? Which I was not able to give out. And then since he did a lot of favors for me, I kind of felt obligated, being naive, you know, at that time I was 24, obligated to set him up with a bigger amount, which that it kind of, you know, was my big mistake. And then he asked me one night if something happened because he invested into something, if I could bring some drugs over the border, and I said no, hell no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm scared. And again, I'm a girl, right? I'm not like a street person or anything, especially at the time. But I just wanted to be down and be the person that they can count on, right? Because they have hooked me up with a lot of things in the industry, with parties, events, with people. So I felt obligated, right? But I declined.
And you then eventually begrudgingly agree to do this smuggling run as a favor.
Right, but no, it was in New York, so I did not go over the border or anything. I just hooked him up with a substantial bigger amount. I was meeting his friend that he introduced me to on an Upper East Side restaurant, like a luxury place. And the second I went in there, he kind of made a comment of like, oh, I have the money, which was really loud for the fact that we were there like a little bit, you know, not to be out there. And that second, the feds stormed the entire restaurant. They took me down into handcuffs. But what fact is that guy that said I have the money, if we both got arrested, as they claimed, he would have been my co-defendant, but he wasn't because he was an undercover agent.
If y'all think Diddy setting her up was insane, wait till you hear he put money on her head while she was in jail. She revealed that there were several attempts on her life while she served 2 years behind bars, and she got to know it was from Diddy after she got out. If y'all think Diddy setting her up was insane, wait till you hear he put money on her head while she was in jail. She revealed that there were several attempts on her life while she served 2 years behind bars, and she got to know it was from Diddy after she got out. Talking about the Lil Rod lawsuit that had Diddy's home raided by Homeland Security, Nies said this.
The Lil Rod allegations and what's in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it's that old trick of like, oh, you're looking up to that Stevie J, right? As a producer, let me show you what he does. Like all this mind tricking of thinking of people, you have to be this way to make it in Hollywood. And you have to do all these things that you really don't want to do because your talent is not enough. You have to do all these things. The way he said it, it makes completely sense that he tried to really mess with his head, you know? He messed with his head and he said, look, if you do this, you're gonna get this. And all these things, and it's just known in the industry. People, but a lot of it is really just who you know and what you can do for them, right? I don't really believe, a lot of people who made it big, they probably had to do something for it. Not saying they're not talented at all. I'm just saying, mostly people in Hollywood, they had to pay their dues.
I'm not gonna lie, I think I kind of believe this Diddy working with the Fed narrative because SA people for over 2 decades without being caught sounds crazy, and from what we know in this case, Diddy was not the most careful guy. The fact that he records himself doing all these means he had some sort of power people backing him, and that's what you get when you work with the feds. And again, Nies has joined the number of people who have confirmed that Diddy had minors at his freak-offs, and yes, she's willing to testify if the feds need her. Fans left comments saying, well, at this point, she's served her time. So what reason would she have to lie? I believe every single word she is saying. This not the first time I've heard that Diddy is a confidential informant. Deal said the same thing. IMO. If Diddy is an informant and they look the other way when he was abusing young boys and girls, then the FBI should be held responsible. If Diddy was an informant and the parties were at his house, then is that considered entrapment for anything that was retrieved? So do you think Diddy is truly an informant with the feds, or do you think there is more to the story than Nies is revealing? Let me know what you think in the comments, then check out this next video.